All right, so this is the next question from Cat24, the first lot. Please pause the video and try it out once, and you can resume the video for the solution. So the question says, a fruit seller has a total of 187 fruits consisting of apples, mangoes, and oranges. The number of apples and mangoes are in the ratio 5:2. After she sells 75 apples, 26 mangoes, and half of the oranges, the ratio of the number of unsold apples to the number of unsold oranges becomes 3:2. The total number of unsold fruits is. So we have apples, mangoes, and oranges. The total number of fruits given, I'll say total, is 187, right? And the number of apples and mangoes are initially in the ratio 5:2. So I can say there are 5x number of apples and there are 2x number of mangoes. Let the number of oranges be equal to y. So I can write the equation 5x plus 2x plus y is 187, giving me 7x plus y is equal to 187. Further, after she sells 75 apples, the new number of apples is 5x minus 75. That's the number of apples left. 5x minus 75. And 26 mangoes are being sold. So 2x minus 26. The number of mangoes remaining is 2x minus 26. And half of the oranges means half of the oranges have been sold. So y by 2 oranges have been sold. The number of oranges remaining is y by 2. Okay, then the ratio of number of unsold apples to the number of unsold oranges becomes 3:2. So what you're trying to say is 5x minus 75, the remaining apples. If I write 5x minus 75, the remaining number of apples, divide by the number of oranges remaining, y by 2, this ratio has been given as 3:2 or 3 by 2. The whole idea is I'm going to solve these two equations simultaneously and figure out the value of x and y to be able to get the answers, So let's see. First, let's start by cross multiplying. We already have y by 2 in the denominator. Let's take a 2 above. So this will become twice of 5x minus 75. And in the denominator, I won't have y by 2. I'll simply have y only, right? The next step is to cross multiply. When I cross multiply, this will become 2 2s are 4. 4 into 5x minus 75 is equal to 3y. Okay, or I will have 20x minus 300 is 3y, or I can simply rewrite this equation as 20x minus 3y is equal to 300. Okay, let me get rid of this particular solving part so I can focus only on these two equations. The first one is 7x plus y is 187 and second one is 20x minus y is 300. Let's focus on these two equations alone. Okay, so I have these two equations. 7x plus y is 187 and 20x minus 3y is 300. Let's solve these two simultaneously. I will multiply the first equation by 3 throughout. 7 into 3 is 21. So 21x plus y into 3 is 3y is 187 times 3. 3 7s are 21, 3 8s are 24, 25, 26, 3 1s are 3, 4 5, 561. And the next step is I'll simply add these two equations. When I add these two equations, I'm going to get 20x plus 21x, 41x minus 3y and plus 3y will get cancelled out is equal to 300 plus 561, that is 861. Very naturally, you can observe x is 41 2s are 82 and 41 1s are 41. So x is 21. If x is 21, you can substitute x in any of these two equations, either this or this. I prefer the first one because it's slightly simpler. So let's put x equals 21 here. 7 into 21 plus y should be equal to 187. 7 into 21 is 147 plus y is 187. That gives me the value of y as 187 minus 147, which is 40. And that helps us to get the answer to our question. We have got x as 21 and y as 40. We need to find out the number of unsold fruits. So we put x as 21 here. The number of apples remaining is 5 into 21 minus 75. So 5 into 21 minus 75 is 105 minus 75, which is 30. So number of apples remaining is 30. Same way, if I substitute x as 21 here, the number of mangoes remaining is 2 into 21 minus 26. That's 42 minus 26, which is 16. And lastly, y we have found as 40. Y by 2 will be 40 by 2, which is 20. The total number of remaining fruits is 30 apples, 16 mangoes, and 20 oranges. The sum of these three numbers is our final answer, 66. And that's the answer to our question, 66. Alright, so let's look at a better way to solve this particular question. The fruit seller has three types of fruits, apples, mangoes, and oranges, and a total of 187. The number of apples and mangoes are initially in the ratio 5:2. So notice that the number of apples initially is a multiple of 5. After she sells 75 apples, number of apples sold is 75. Okay, the ratio of number of unsold apples to the number of unsold oranges becomes 3:2. So the initial number of apples is a multiple of 5. From that, when you subtract 75, you must get a multiple of 3. That's enough information to have some hint about the starting point. So for the initial number of oranges, let's take a multiple of 5 just more than 75, which is 80. If I take the number of apples initially as 80, 75 apples are sold and 5 apples remain. But 5 is not a multiple of 3. We need the remaining number of apples to be a multiple of 3, which is not the case here, right? So the initial number of apples is not 80. Similarly, initial number of apples cannot be 85 because 85 minus 75 is 10, which is again not a multiple of 3. Let's try by taking the next multiple of 5, that is 90. If I take the number of apples as 90, 90 minus 75 is 15. And 15 is a multiple of 3, so this may work. Okay, let's check it further. Apples, mangoes, and oranges. Initially, apples and mangoes are in the ratio of 5:2. So 5 corresponds to 90. It is a multiple of 18. 5 18s are. So 2 18s are, we have 36 mangoes initially. And now we have a small problem. Since we have 187 fruits in total, from 187, if I subtract 90 and 36, the remaining value is 61. That's not possible because half the oranges are getting sold. So the number of oranges initially has to be an even number and not 61, which is odd. So the number of apples initially can't be 90 also. And now going by the same approach, guys, let's assume the number of apples as the next multiple of 5, that is 95. 95 minus 75 is 20, which is not a multiple of 3, ruled out. Next multiple of 5 is 100, minus 75 is 25, not a multiple of 3, ruled out. Next number is 105, minus 75 is 30, yes, a multiple of 3. So let's analyze by taking the apples as 105, the mangoes and the oranges. Apples and mangoes have a ratio of 5:2. 5 corresponds to 105. 5 into 21 is 105. So 2 into 21 is 42. We have a total of 187 fruits. From 187, I subtract 105 and 42. Basically, I'm subtracting 147. The number of oranges should be 40. Right? And now we have even number of oranges initially. So let's try to satisfy the next condition. 75 apples sold, 30 remaining. 26 mangoes sold, so 16 mangoes remaining, and half the oranges are sold, 20 oranges remaining. As per the question, the ratio of unsold apples to oranges is 30:20, which is nothing but 3:2. Satisfies the given condition of the question. So the total number of unsold fruits is 30 apples, 16 mangoes, and 20 oranges. The value is 66. This is also another way, a slightly better way out in this case, guys. Now, I'm not very sure how this particular method will work if you have bigger numbers. But yes, for a smaller number like 187, we could pretty much look at this hack of 5's multiple minus 75 giving you 3 ka multiple. The only possibility we'll end up with is 105. Also, while solving this question, you can eliminate this headache of writing down all the values. You can mentally look at 5, 10, 20, and 25 not being multiples of 3 and eliminate the possibilities. So you'll directly get 105 and thereby the answer 66.